What is up, everyone? This will be my jungle tier list for patch 2507, the recent patch that came out, and I'm going to be doing it a bit differently. We're going to be doing it live, where we're just going to be drag it, and I'm going to tell you where each champion is going to go. So let's get started. The tier list is divided S plus category, S tier, and S plus category for me is the best champions with no counters on the patch. Usually there's only a few, and I usually like to have it so people understand that these are the best on the patch. The rest are pretty simple. S is great, A is great, B is okay, C is pretty much the worst you can go. But let's get started. So first, S plus category. Who do we have? An actual surprise pick. Yorick jungle got a lot of changes, and Yorick is looking like one of the best junglers on the patch. They've somehow made him clear actually very quickly, and also not requiring 200 IQ to actually clear on him. Now you can clear very easily on him, and you can actually play the game really well. So he's super broken right now. I mean, I have to expect nerfs from him, because as people start to get on the trend, he's going to need a lot of nerfs because he's extremely broken right now. One of the best, I mean, the best jungler on the patch right now. Next, we have Gwen. Gwen, the nerfs affect the top lane much more than jungle. I think jungle is unaffected. I think she's the best jungler as an AP jungler on the patch right now. So you have the two of the best of the category, A, physical for Yorick and AP for Gwen. And I love Gwen right now. I imagine they're going to do some jungle modification nerfs where her clear speed is going to go down. That's the favorite of the patch. That is all that matters on the jungle patch, is your clear speed. And I do think that's going to affect Gwen. But right now, she is the queen of the AP jungle category. Next, let's go through our list here. Who do we have? For me personally, I used to have the Darius jungle on this list. Is not here. But if I had Darius jungle, here he is. I would put Darius jungle in S tier, but because he got nerfed down, we're going to have to put him a lot lower. Darius is going to unfortunately have to be in A tier. He was the S tier last patch, but now he's on the A tier train just because they did nerf him, and it does affect him a lot more. Every time they nerf him, you know, it is affecting him. But now he's sort of in the middle ground where he's a good champion. I wouldn't recommend playing him anymore unless you really like him. But I do think he's just slowly kind of fading away now over time. Who I was really looking for was another S plus category, Nefiri. So the Nefiri nerfs did absolutely nothing. They did have to hotfix nerf her again, which I'm not sure if it's enough. It's hard to look at stats. From playing it, it does seem like her damage is lower. So that could be a big thing. She could be S tier because of the hotfix nerf, but it's unsure of, as we'll see with time to tell. But she's definitely broken. She was broken on the patch release, and I think she's one of the best low ranked junglers in the game right now. She could be S tier because of the nerfs, but overall, she's just very good right now. And you'll be having a great time if you were to play the Nefiri jungle. And that's generally all I have for the best of the best. This would be my S plus category. Hecarim. Hecarim is an S tier pick. He is slowly and surely becoming very broken. I'm surprised he's not getting nerfed, just because I have played against Hecarims, and honestly, they're pretty disgusting. I don't like to play against Hecarims. Their full clear mechanic, like I said, clear speed, clear speed, clear speed. Welcome to the jungle meta, where clear speed is the most important thing. And you know why? Because clear speed means you're going to farm your camps faster. You're going to be able to be more proactive on the map. You're going to be able to get your jungle camps on faster respawns. So if you get faster respawns, you're going to get them quicker and more. In the end, you're going to have an entire cycle of extra camps on the other jungler. And why is that important? Because the way they've designed jungle in this new world is where jungle experience, you can only get it through jungle camps, right? You're only really getting good experience from jungle camps, and that's where a lot of your income is now. You can get a bit of experience. They nerfed all the kill experience. They've nerfed the jungle item where you're not going to get much from minions. So you can only theoretically carry by farming your camps. So that's why it's super important. Objectives still give you a lot. Jungle camps are extremely broken. That's why clear speed is really good, because you're able to clear so much faster, and you're still able to be proactive on the map. And that's why S category, we have the delicious Hecarim jungle up there. Very broken. I really like him, and I really dislike him, but he's really good in this meta. Next, we have Kha'Zix. I really like Kha'Zix. I love the bug. His clear speed is okay. I wish they just buff his W. I don't know why Riot is actually absurd and never wants to buff Kha'Zix W. I think his W needs to be cleared faster. He needs to be able to clear faster with his W. They buffed his E because they're afraid of buffing his W, but it really doesn't make sense to me. Give his W more monster damage. Give it literally some sort of better scaling. Right now, it literally does nothing on one point. Its cooldown never changes. Its damage barely goes up. I really wish they'd do something about his W, but overall, he's in a good spot. He's just a very strong assassin. His Q damage is insane. The buffs to his passive and his E actually gives him a really good chunk of damage. I really don't have issues killing people now when I play him, but I do have much issues into tanks, bruiser, counter pick comps, right? If you play against a comp that's really durable, really tanky, you're not going to have a good time. Also, if you play against Yuumi the Devil, you're not going to have a good time because your isolation doesn't work with Yuumi. So overall, besides all that, he is extremely strong and one of the best champions in the game right now, for sure. Next, we have Nocturne. Nocturne is just a crowd favorite. I've always preached Nocturne. I think he's really one of the best learning junglers in the game, and he's performing extremely well in the game as well. So you got to love having Nocturne in your comp. You got to have a great time with it, and he's just really good, strong overall champion right now, and I think Nocturne is just really great for you to pick up. If you're a new player, low ranks, my low rank champions, I've always recommended Nocturne and Amumu as the best, low rank champions you can play. Another great low rank champion you can play, Diana Jungle. Tank Diana Jungle build, still super strong, still performing really well. You can still go the AP build if you want. You can go into like the more Magic Pen build. You can go Nashers, but Tank Liandry's into Riftmaker is really broken. It's a go-to AP tank build, and she's the second best AP jungler on the patch right now. From what I can see and from what I can tell, I really do think she's just a great solid champion to have in your kit. Next, we have another S tier, Xin Zhao. I think Xin Zhao is actually kind of broken. I played one game with him recently, and I'm like, wow, when did he get so strong? He's just really durable. Sunder Sky into Cleaver, Spear Sojourn, whatever you want to build. Really broken. I mean, I think it's really straightforward, not too difficult to play too. He just performs really well. Early game, he's a super strong independent jungler, and he don't need no man to help him carry the game. Xin Zhao, extremely good. I really do like the Zhao. Next, we have Vi. Vi, I think, is S tier. I've been seeing her rise in popularity. I probably am going to do a video on her soon just because I think she's really good. Triforce go-to into Sunder Sky is just such a strong 2-item spike. She's so much ability haste, so much power in her kit from this. And her lockdown is just undisputed as the best. And in this meta, if you're able to be really durable and also deal a lot of damage and bring a lot of engaged CC, your champion's pretty much god because of how valuable that is, because a lot of times your bot lane is going to pick a useless control mage bot support like a Vel'Koz or a Brand Xerath, and then you have no one in your comp who can actually engage or anyone to front line. So that's where a champ like Vi gets really powerful, and that's where you get a lot of value from the Vi in general. So I think Vi is really good here and a really strong pick. Also really strong, I think, Jarvan. Same thing with Vi. He's a bit more tricky with his EQ combo. So I think he's really struggling, or he's not struggling, but he can be getting countered by certain comps. But overall, he still does the same thing with Vi, but Vi is more guaranteed. And he's really durable, really strong, really good front line. So he offers a lot in comps. So he's a great champion. I think the meta will slowly start to shift more into the bruiser, tankier frontline meta, where you'll have champs like the Jhin, Vi, Jarvan being Exodia. So that's where I foresee the meta happening when we start to see more heals and shields nerf in the future, and as we see other things change as well. Next, we're going to have, is there any other S tier category? Is anything coming to your mind? For me, I don't see anything that I would say is S tier. I might have to say Viego. Viego is just a staple pick for the jungle meta. I mean, Viego is just disgusting. I mean, he's always just been Riot's favorite jungler. If you see the popularity of every server, Viego is obviously going to just be one of the most played jungler on pretty much every server. So it's just very undisputed that he is loved by many and abused by many. So you end up having that in your situation. And, yeah, he is Viego. If you like him, you like him. He's always going to be a really strong pick. Next, we have the A tier category. A tier, I don't know if Mundo's S tier. Mundo has been surprising me a lot. And he looks really broken. He looks really great, especially lower ranks. I think Mundo is probably going to be nerfed in the future because of the buffs he had received. He actually looks pretty solid in the jungle. So if you like Mundo, I usually put him pretty low. But I think now I respectfully have to put him at least A tier. He's a very solid pick. You do have to kind of learn him. He's really vulnerable for you to overextend and die on. But I think the Mundo is looking like he deserves a spot higher up in the tier list. Next, we have next we'll have Monkey. Monkey is just really solid. I honestly could put him in S tier, but I do think his clear speed is a bit slow, which really hurts him. If his clear speed was literally a few more seconds quicker, he would feel so much better. but he does fall behind with that in regards, especially his first clear. But I wouldn't say it's that bad. Into certain AD comps, he's pretty much Exodia. He's the best champion. Into like some AP comps, you might find yourself struggling, but overall, I think it's just a really good pick. Lilia was S tier and she was almost S plus tier, but they did kind of tone down the buffs they gave to her. 10% AP ratio nerf is pretty big. It puts her more in line into the middle of the pack. So if you like Lilia, you're probably going to have a good time playing her, but I wouldn't say she is as broken as the patch before. But overall, really good champion, really strong, really enjoyable if you like him or if you like her. Next, we have Zed. Zed, honestly, I was a bit of a hater, but then I tried to see how his clear is, and his clear is literally 3 minutes. Like, you can easily clear 3 minutes, and judging by how the game is, like we talked about, clear speed is everything. I actually do think Zed is really going to be rising in popularity. I'll probably do a video about him tomorrow, but I think Zed is literally, he's going to be a problem. I think people are really bad at him in jungle. I also think people don't build right on him in jungle. Instead of building like Youmuu's, you should build the item like the cycle sword item, which slows when you auto attack. Plus you should go into like Spear of Sojin. He becomes a god. He's really, really broken. Just make sure you full clear on him, and he looks really, really powerful. Next, we have Elise. Elise is just a really good AP jungler. She's more early game based, though. You have to be a bit aggressive when you want to play her, but overall, she's just a very solid AP jungler if you want to play. Karthus, he's just one tricks, abuse him, but overall, he's very powerful as an AP jungler who kind of AFK farms and does a lot of AFK stuff. He's just a really good pick. But I don't recommend him because he's really hard to kind of learn all the things you need to learn about him. Fiddle, same thing, a one-trick jungler who honestly is really good. If you know how to play him, if you one-trick him, you're going to perform really well on him. And I think he's just a really good pick overall. Talon, surprisingly, is somehow, he could honestly just be god tier in the jungle too. I don't know, but I just see Talon just clearing so quickly. I don't know why he's allowed to clear so fast. I'm kind of against how strong he is in the jungle, but yeah, if you like Talon, if you one-trick him, he's just really good right now. He's probably one of the strongest iterations he's been in. But I'm going to put him A tier because mostly one-tricks do inflate his win rate. So he does look a lot better than what he should be. Next, we're going to have Taliyah. I was a bit of a Taliyah jungle hater, but over time, I've just kind of adapted that. I think Taliyah is actually quite good at AP jungle. I think she clears relatively faster than I thought she did. You just have to set up some boulders at the beginning by casting your Q. You're going to have a really nice full clear that's really fast and very strong. So Taliyah, I really do think she's a great jungler. Next, we're going down the list. Who do we have? We have Kayn. Kayn is like an A tier. He's always sort of floating around A tier. It's weird because honestly, Kayn is like 2 champions in one. He's red and blue. Sometimes it's hard to rate him because he's getting carried down by either one form or getting carried up by the other. But overall, a safe bet is always going to be A tier, right? A tier is always going to be really good for him. Red Kayn form is pretty solid. He can always be a bit of a frontline bruiser. But yeah, I usually rate him relatively high in that category. Next, we have Ivern. So Ivern is going to join the A tier. The A tier is going to be getting a little crowded, but A tier is just really where most of the junglers are going to find themselves in, just because it's a very safe, it's just a very strong picks that are very consistent and very good at what they do. Ivern, the shield, the Q buffs have actually been pretty broken. I mean, he roots you for 1.6 seconds at rank 1. Kind of disgusting, but Ivern is looking very powerful right now. Kindred, a very high elo pick, but very solid. If you like her, you might also like Kai'Sa jungle. I've been messing around with it. We don't have Kai'Sa on the list, but if I had to put Kai'Sa somewhere, I honestly do think she's A tier. If you do my build, Kraken Slayer, Rage Blade, honestly, her clear is not that bad. It's quite good, and your damage when you scale, you get your items on Kai'Sa jungle, you're going to be popping off. Kindred is much more aggressive, much more earlier. And yeah, if you like Kindred, she's a much more aggressive playstyle that you can incorporate. Next, who do we have on the list? People who are looking good. Echo Jungle is a solid AP jungler. I've been trying a bit more builds on him. We'll see if we can cook anything out of him, but overall, he's just a very solid pick. Briar Jungle, honestly, I think she's okay, but I haven't really been enjoying her as much. She may be even B tier, but overall, I'll say she's an okay A tier pick. You can definitely make her work for sure, but overall, there are things that other junglers just do a pretty good amount of better at her. Lee Sin, I mean, he's always just really broken. I just think he's literally buffed to the point where like he should be nerfed, but he's always somehow just unnerfed because of how bad people are on Lee Sin. He's a high skill champion, but overall, if you like mobility and missing skill shots, Lee Sin could be the pick for you. And Amumu, a very solid tank AP jungler. He's the essence of what you should play as a jungler. He just does everything very easily, scales really well, offers a lot of utility, tankiness, frontline, crowd control. These are very key elements to the champion that you really want in the jungle role, especially lower ranks. If you want to climb, you have to kind of find sort of champions that can be like that. Volibear, I do like him. The buffs to his W honestly didn't really do shit because it gives him a bonus AD ratio, which he really isn't going to be building because we, like we build Cosmic Drive into Navori, so he doesn't actually build any attack damage. But it was a nice little thing, but overall he's just a really solid pick right now. He can clear really fast once he gets to Navori. If he can auto and knock SCC to death, he's going to kill everyone. So Volibear extremely broken right now. Next we have on the list, who's the lucky next number do we have going on here? And it's going to be Yi. Yi's a very solid A tier jungler. He's in a good spot. Not too bad about him, but he's just performing quite well. But he's not as strong as before. The nerfs did affect him, but overall he's still pretty good. Graves, I hate Graves. I ban Graves a lot because I dislike him, but he's just an okay pick. He's not too bad. You can definitely make Graves work, but overall he's kind of not as strong as he used to be. Evelyn, actually, I'm gonna do Velvet. Velvet, she's an A tier. She's a one-trick jungler, similar to Rek'sai. She's just a very okay pick. She's A tier because she hasn't been as strong, but overall, if she gets her scaling going, if she gets her early game going, she can actually be really, really strong in the meta. And is that all for A tier? I do believe there might be a little extra A tier champion hiding within here. And looking at the list, honestly, we do have two of them. It might have to be Shaco. Shaco's A tier because I think he's overall really solid and not too bad in the current meta. The buffs to him made AD Shaco much stronger. And overall, I just think he's in a pretty decent spot with the current meta. Next, we have B tier. B tier category. I mean, a lot of these champions, it's hard to say exactly, but I would put Shyvana because I think Shyvana's not that good. I don't like her. I'm waiting kind of like for her rework to see where they go in that direction, but the whole AP/AD build, I'm not a fan of. I think she's just not that great of a champion. Trundle, honestly, same thing. I just don't think he's a good jungler. He doesn't have any AoE in his kit, and he's just a melee champion that just gets shot in his face every time he walks up for anything. So overall, I'm not too much of a fan of him. Rengar as well. I'm not too much of a fan of Rengar because he's sort of like in a weird spot where the assassin meta is really hard for some champions unless you have some sort of ways to get out, right? Like invisibility for Kha'Zix, invisibility for Talon. These sort of things are really important. You need these sort of ways to get out if you want to be an assassin. He's one with no way out. He goes in and he either kills and dies. So overall, that's not good for what you want to see. Rek'Sai B tier, I really wish they do something about Rek'Sai. I can't put her higher because I think she needs more buffs. I think they need to rework her a bit. And I really hope they do something about her because it's not looking too good for the Rek'Sai. Bran, I'm just going to put him B tier. I honestly don't know if he clears fast enough. I think he's just okay. I haven't tested him too much, but it didn't seem like the passive buffs were that great. I mean, we'll have to see more as time goes on. But overall, we're just going to put him on B tier because I don't know if his clear needs to be really quick for him to be better. And I don't know if those buffs actually did that. Zyra is just like a dirty little AP jungler, clears super fast. For some reason, her plants can destroy jungle camps, but overall, she's not the best if you don't know how to utilize how fast she farms. So lower ranks, she doesn't perform as well. Same thing with other champions that are in there. Evelyn, I just think Evelyn's just not suited for the meta. You can one-trick Evelyn, but overall, she's just not in that great of a spot. So you're going to struggle a lot if you try to play Evelyn. Udyr, I don't like him. I think he looks like a homeless man who lives under a bridge. I think he's just really not that great. You can one trick him, but I'm not big on him right now. Unless you're really a one trick, you would probably pull him into the A tier category. Zac, I mean, I think Zac is better. I think Zac is probably A tier, but I'm just gonna put him B tier for now because honestly, I haven't seen a Zac since 2016, and it's just been a long time. So I'm just gonna have him in the B tier category for now because of that. Nunu is actually quite strong, so I kind of forgot about Nunu. I actually think Nunu is S tier. I think he's pretty OP. I think he's disgusting. I also think he's just really broken. And I also think he's just really pretty broken at what he does. I think he does a lot of magic damage. He can build a lot of the strong items, clear really fast, objective control. I've had a lot of headaches playing against Nunu, so I have to put him in that category. Pantheon, I'm just gonna put him B tier. He could be A tier too. I think he's quite strong, but overall, I think just the meta is sort of shifting where, you know, shields and heals are really becoming a problem. A lot of champions that have this sort of shield heal mechanic in their kit is really OP right now. In the end, they'll probably end up nerfing that, but right now it just seems like that stuff is really, really broken in the current meta. And for B tier, we have the turtle himself. So turtle, I mean, he's not performing too well. He's okay, and I just don't like too much how the turtle is. I think he just doesn't perform that well. He kind of needs some sort of like rework to be much better, to see like much more, you know, range from him, because right now it's not looking good for him. And now we have the C tier category. C tier, I mean, let's just put them in. Gragas is not really a jungler anymore. He just kind of sucks. Jax is not really good anymore. He can't really perform. Maokai, he's a tree that's been nerfed because of competitive. We don't really see much Maokai anymore. Mordekaiser, I know some people tell me they love playing Mordekaiser, but I honestly think it's just kind of like a bait pick. There's just much better picks than Mordekaiser jungle. Morgana, the same thing. She really isn't that performing that well. She's just a much better support than she is jungler. Nidalee, she's just too hard for what she can give. I think you're better off playing a lot of other champions if you want to play. Nidalee, there's just better AP junglers that are much easier to play, but she is fun to play if you enjoy that playstyle. Poppy, the jungle buffs, I honestly didn't think they put her that high. She could be B or A tier if you're good enough on Poppy, but if you're new on Poppy, she is kind of just slowly getting nerfed. Sejuani, I mean, I eat halal meat. Sejuani, haram, pork. We're not going to have that, not in my tier list. So we're going to have to put her in the bottom tier category. Silas, I wish they make Silas Jungle better, but right now his clear is just absolute trash. I would love the day to see Silas Jungle actually be able to clear very well. But as it is now, we're just not able to see that. Next, we have Skarner, complete the worst jungler in the game. They nerfed him because of competitive, and we're not going to be talking too much about him. Teemo, you love Teemo. You do love Teemo, but he's not that good. He hasn't really been that good. They did sort of buff him a bit, but overall, I'm not too big on the Teemo. Warwick. So Warwick, I actually kind of forgot about him. He's honestly A tier category, and I would put him A tier. He's just a really decent, solid pick. And that's just probably where he's going to go. He just kind of throws up my tier list, so we're just going to leave him here for now. But Warwick will definitely be A tier. I wouldn't say he's S tier because I think Warwick is just really sort of like easy to kill, you know? Like I just think a lot of issues with him. He is solid though. He just stat checks so many people. But I wouldn't put him in like the S tier category. I just have him at an A tier. But overall, I hope you guys like that jungle tier list. This is my 25.07. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck on the game. Good luck on the climb. And I'll see you guys later.